Hi, this is Dan back again, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the parable of the Good Samaritan. Familiar to a lot of people, but maybe there's something here that needs to be looked at just a little bit further, and I thought you might find it interesting. It's the story of a man it's a traveler. He's going from Jerusalem to Jericho. So it might be safe to guess that maybe he is a Jew himself. At any rate, he falls into the hands of robbers and they strip him of his clothes and they beat him. And a priest comes by or sees him and comes by on the opposite side. I guess that's like across the road. And passes him by. And the same thing happens when a Levite comes. He passes him by on the opposite side of the road. And along comes a Samaritan, and the Samaritan has compassion on him and takes him and dresses his wounds and feeds him and takes care of him and he gives money to this innkeeper and says, take these 2 silver coins. If it costs more to take care of him, when I come back through, I'll reimburse you. And so Jesus asked the question uh, of his audience, which one was neighbor to the traveler, and they said, well, that would be the one who had mercy on him. And Jesus said to that man, go and do likewise. Now, the interesting little aspect of this is if uh, if this man was a Jew, his own people uh, walked by on the opposite side of the road and did not have any compassion on him, and it was an outsider who came along and took care of him. And then not only that, but he also entrusted an innkeeper to look after him as well. And so, in our lives, we could be the innkeeper, perhaps, or we could be the good Samaritan, or we can pass by on the other side. When Jesus talks about the judgment day, though, he's going to say, I was hungry, you fed me not. I was sick, you did not comfort me. I was naked, and you clothed me, sick, um, and uh, and hungry. And they say to him, when did we see you like that? And he says, well, you've done it to the least of these, you've done it to me. When Jesus talks about these things, what he's doing is he's preparing us for the parables later on. When he says, I have a need, but you're treating me like a stranger. And so, uh, in the judgment day, Jesus will say, that's when I will treat you like a stranger. I won't know you because you didn't know me. That's what that's what we get a lot of the times with I don't know you because you didn't know me, and that's an important lesson to contemplate because when we go into another parable later on, uh, that's going to come up. He's going to treat somebody like a stranger. I don't know you, and we've got to ask, well, why would he say that? And he says that in circumstances where in this life we treat people like strangers, and he's going to treat us like a stranger in the judgment day. So keep all that in mind. Another little interesting aspect of the parable of the Good Samaritan is that if this man was naked and he was a Jew, then the priest walking by on the other side perhaps wouldn't see that he was circumcised, and neither would the Levite who walked by on the other side wouldn't see that he was circumcised. And the Samaritan, who was typically thought to be an unclean or disgusting person to a lot of Jews, he was the one who actually showed compassion on the man and took care of him, which which is all an important aspect because you couldn't tell by his clothing what his what his nationality was. He didn't have any, uh, and so that's something to think about. That the Levite and the priest both walking by on the other side wouldn't know if he was a Jew or not per se. Um, but they didn't want to know, at that. And so that's the whole point that Jesus is trying to make, and that part of the reason why he brought the gospel to the Jews, to his own people, to the Jewish people first. Um, so I think I covered everything on that. But keep in mind that these little stories and little teachings about doing good to those who would borrow from you, turn them not away, and ask not again. It's the asking not again for those that borrow from you would be like, don't expect repayment all the time, every time you lend something to somebody. You know, uh, do it out of compassion. Let that be the motivator. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this little insight on the parable of the Good Samaritan. If you can't be the Good Samaritan, try trusting that God will give you a couple of silver pieces to take care of him later on when he passes through. Have a great day. Thank you. Hit the like button and the share button, and make a comment if you would like to on what the parable had meant to you. Thanks. Bye.